Recently, I'm sure a lot of you have noticed that GW is getting a bit out of hand with the price increases and not to mention the horrible rules. So let's talk about it in another thrilling entry of Did You Know That Being Poor is literally a choice right now when you play Warhammer? Hello everyone, it's me Rebin/Handy, destroyer of wallets, maker of terrible financial decisions, back with another video, this time about GW and their recent, frankly, stupid decisions. So first, let's get the most obvious subject out of the way with the onslaught of the price increases. Now, this is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now because, like I mentioned earlier, it's kinda getting out of hand. For example, here's the current cost of a potato night, and here it is in 2020. And as you can see, something is quite not right here. Besides the obvious overinflated cost for something that often has worse quality than Chinesium recast. Now, tell me, how many of you remember a few years ago when a combat patrol was $100 to $120, or a Redemptor Dreadnought and ATV were about the same price of $45 to $50, or an Imperial Knight was $120? I can make a lot of other comparisons, but now I hopefully got those gears in your head turning. The price per points has also steadily been getting worse too. For instance, do you want 10 Sisters of Silence? Well then, shell out $120 for about 100 points of models. We can also go into the stupidity of older models. For example, much of the Grey Knight range costs $60 for a box of 5 goofy little guys with models that are all over 10 years old, compared to newer models that are also $60, which is kind of off-putting that they stay the same price, no matter how old they are. Well, they stay the same stable price relative to each other even though GW increases the prices. Usually in any other game or just hobbies in general, the older certain models get, they are replaced in favor of newer sculpts. So logically the price of old product goes down since they want to move old stock. And if it's a highly sought after older, more collectible Warhammer model, its price should go up, right? Right? Unfortunately for Warhammer, the moment you open the box, you lose money. The moment you assemble the model, you lose money. The moment you paint the model, you lose money, unless it's painted very well. And the moment GW throws a model into Legends, its resale value usually goes in the gutter, so you lose money. Now, I can also hear some of you idiots saying, "No, leave the multi-million-dollar company alone." And to you I say, congratulations, you lack any critical thinking skills, you goddamn servo skull. So now we're gonna get a bit into economics, and this is a disclaimer. I would like to note that I am not an economist, so these comparisons might not be correct or quantitative. So let's start by talking about profit margin. Profit margin is a common measure of a business's activity to make money, which is expressed as a percentage that represents the portion of a company's sales revenue that it gets to keep as profit after subtracting all of its costs like marketing, production costs, etc., etc. So what do you think is considered the average profit margin most companies operate within? Well, on average, profit margins for most companies is considered to be healthy at around 10%. So usually they know that increasing the prices of their goods can logically then reduce their profits, especially if they constantly increase prices, which could then lead customers to go find cheaper alternatives. Is this starting to sound familiar with the rise of 3D printing? Now tell me, what do you think GW's profit margin is right now? 8%? Do I hear 10%? Or maybe even 15%? It's actually none of those. It's a whopping 30% profit margin. So since they're a toy company that's pretty successful, this must mean that other not as niche companies that also deal in toys and model kits should also be just as successful. So I guess then let's take a look at Hasbro, another toy company that has a multitude of successful IPs under its umbrella, with the likes of Transformers, Magic the Gathering, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and this list goes on and on and on. It's 8%. Well, I mean, that's just one. What about Konami? They make video games and Yu-Gi-Oh! Surely they... Well, how about Bandai Namco? They also make very successful video games, and they also have SH Monster Arts, along with other anime figures, and Gunpla, the better model building experience. I'm sure they have a higher profit margin than GW. Well, what about Mattel? They own Barbie, Hot Wheels, and... now I'm curious. I wonder what Amazon's profit margin is. So what I'm getting from this is you're telling me that GW rakes in more profits than any other popular toy and model companies, and the prices are still this ridiculously high. Seriously, Warhammer is more niche than Gunpla. Are they raising these prices so they can make us front the cost of some stupid pet project? Oh, If this doesn't reduce the prices in the future, I'm calling bullshit. But I mean, hey, at least they gave their employees a bonus.
Yeah, I remember when army gears were $65. Now they're 90. Nothing's changed. It's just the same goddamn kit. So why are they increasing the prices of the same kit?
I'm sure a lot of you also noticed the number of models we're getting per value box is also going down too. Here's the Christmas box from a few years ago, and here's last year's. As the years go by, we're getting less models for our money, and the armies in return are also getting more expensive. This is also one of the reasons GW hates 3D printing, because they know that they are slowly losing their monopoly they have, because why would I spend $600 for this knight? I can probably print for less than $40, or even get a recast for probably $100 that's honestly going to be better quality. And I can frankly use it at my non-GW store, since they frankly don't give a shit if some of my stuff is 3D printed, or honestly even third party. It also doesn't really help that GW constantly throws the crap they can't move into their value boxes sometimes too. Does the Trial Dreadnought box ring any bells for anyone, or the Oops All Jump Pack Marines box from last Christmas? Or what about some of their recent boxes like the Orcs box? Can you say we have too many Stompas rotting in the warehouse? Honestly, GW is kinda getting out of hand with these price increases. They're turning what is considered a luxury hobby into a hobby for only the whales and the elite, and some consider me a whale, but even I understand most of the player base is not composed of whales, and I also know bullshit prices when I see them. I have lived through all the price changes. Do not recite to me the price changes of old. I was there when it was written, bitch. But the higher the prices go, the more they also turn away newer players too, since it's a higher entry cost, which is also a form of gatekeeping self-imposed by GW. Huh. Hey guys, remember that Warhammer is for everyone post a few years ago? Well, here's the new updated version. Warhammer is for everyone, unless you're poor. If you are, you will not be missed. Nowadays, most people are going to choose basic necessities like food and shelter instead of overpriced plastic or resin, because yeah, the prices of everything else is going up, but that doesn't mean the already stupidly expensive toys also need to go up in price too. The moment a hobby gets too expensive is even when the veteran players and collectors start to jump ship. And don't even get me started on codex prices. I remember when a codex was $40. And the special edition was $60 to $70. Now a regular codex is $60 and the special edition is $100. Speaking of codexes, my god, are the rules getting worse too? Why is it that some codexes are good or just average, and then there are the codexes that are just absolute trash? Until it gets fixed in a balanced data slate, and then my codex is worthless. I honestly feel like they have an A team and a B team for the codexes. It's absolute bullshit that AdMech, Dark Angels, and Custodes all got shafted by their codexes until the balanced data slate kind of fixed them. While at the same time they had other codex releases either after them or even at the same time with better rules. And I know I'm not the only person who feels like this. There are constantly posts around the internet and even in other Discord servers with the same sentiment of, I don't want my codex. Why? Because I'm having fun with my single detachment that has okay rules and isn't written like the passives of a new League of Legends character. If they already had all these detachments ready to go at the start of 10th edition, I don't know, why not just in between edition launches write all the codexes at the same time and then release them all at once? Oh wait, I know why. They don't have the time for their own games, since they seemingly just make up bullshit as they go and are putting profits above all else. And they also fired all their community playtesters in 9th edition because of leaks. But shit still leaks anyways. How is it that the game was more fun when we all had only one army rule that was constantly tweaked to rein it in? Unless you're Eldar or Dark Eldar. These codexes are literally either bloating the rules or making them arguably worse. Because why would I want to buy a new $60 to $100 book that is already outdated the moment it's released? And may take a few months to fix in a balanced data slate. I don't even want to know how bad the Knights Codex is gonna be, and yes, busting through the walls like the Kool-Aid Man is fun and all, but I don't believe a word GW says in their meta watch, because they only give us the percentage and no breakdown of the numbers of players even playing the armies, or what attachment they use to get these results, or how they're even getting this data. Like, what tournaments are they getting it from? What size tournaments are they getting it from? Or are they only collecting this data from GW sponsored tournaments? I honestly hope GW gets their shit together, because if they keep increasing the prices even after price inflation goes down, they won't even have a fraction of their current player base. because everyone's either gonna make their own rules, print their own miniatures, or even move on to another game entirely, since it seems GW doesn't remember that without customers, you can't exist. Anyways, as always, thank you once again for watching this video. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel, simply leave a comment and hitting the like and subscribe button helps more than you think. But becoming a channel member also helps too, since it allows me to make up bullshit excuses to my parents of why I totally need this SH Monster Arts DESTOROYAH. Anyways, I have to go make more terrible financial decisions, so I will see you on the next video, and remember, being poor is a choice, especially now with all the price increases.